Hi, I'm Katie Sky and welcome to my channel and welcome back to the island of Pinecone. This is my fall Forestcore island and this is the build we did last week. It's Sylvana's house, which had the little bakery, and then Blair's house, which had the little tea party. And it is night, if you couldn't tell, and we're going to be doing a night build this week, and we're going to be doing this area, which is rather large, and it has Beau and Pudge's house. And we're going to just go ahead and jump right in and start putting stuff down. We are going to go ahead and start on Beau's house, which he is going to have a cute little hayride. It's going to be a hayride. And we're just starting off with the little ticket counter, and we're using the covered counter for that because I like how the counter looks. And I did go get a Nook Mile ticket to put on the counter, like that's the ticket to get in, because I liked how it looked. And I think little details like that are super cute on an island. And next we're gonna move on to the hayfield itself, which I'm using the tractor, and I'm doing some dirt like tire tracks, so it looks like it's been going over the same spot over and over like you would see at a real hayride. I have very limited knowledge on hayrides though, so I'm not an expert by any means. I think I've gone on like one, maybe two in my life, because we don't have a lot of those types of things around where I live, or even really where I grew up. So most of this idea came from movies I've seen, actually. And next we're gonna go ahead and put the hay bed down, and then I did get some short simple panels to use this coat on, so it kind of looks like not a wagon, but like the slatted sides of a hayride. And I only had 3 short panels, so I'll put that in later. And then we're just gonna go ahead and put some natural stuff on the left side of the house and like some seating area, because I do like to give the villagers a place to sit near their house. I want them to be able to enjoy the island however they want, including their house, so they need to be able to sit out there. And then we're just gonna add a few little items in to the left of the covered counter, just to add some little decor. And then we're gonna do the tedious job of putting in all of the wheat field. This took so much wheat field. I had to do at least 2 or 3 trips to the Treasure Islands just to stock up on this, because it was just so much, and it's not even as big as I was initially gonna make it, which is wild to me. And I did want to add some height in the back because it looked kind of funky to me, so I did the silos. I never really use the silos, but I do really like them. They're really cute. And I'm having to move everything in the front here over by half a tile because I didn't realize I put everything down on a half tile. And you can see little Beau in the back. He's investigating, seeing what we're doing with his stuff, his property, his area. I love Beau. He is so cute. I have had him on so many islands, but he's still one of my favorite. He's not my absolute favorite, but he's one of the top ones for sure. And I definitely could not have a Forestcore island without having Beau and Fauna on this place. Like, it was just not possible. They had to be here. So even though I'm trying to get new villagers, there are some of my like tried and true bestie villagers that I'm always gonna say yes to. Who are the villagers for you that you'll always have on an island if you can? Mine for sure are like Filbert, Beau. I really love Kiki. Kiki's cute. Sylvana is a new one added to that list. I really love her. And I'm sure there are others that I'm just completely blanking on right now, but who are some of your favorites? I'm very curious because everybody has a different love of villagers. Like, they like different types of villagers, which is fascinating. So I'm always curious when people talk about their favorites, and I'll be like, oh, I never thought about that one as a favorite, or I really don't like that one. And then it's the same for me with certain people. They don't like my favorite villagers, and that's fine. But I'm just curious what yours are. And right now I'm struggling with the area behind the house, which is mostly just going to be a filler area. Trees, bushes, some larger items like the vines, the giant vines, and things like that. But some of these trees did not want to go where I wanted them to. And I swear I can dig a hole and actually plant something in it. There was one tree that was being very tricky by the silo. And I swear I'm good at this game. I swear. Now we're just gonna do the fencing for the hayride to kind of separate it from the main areas. And I'm pretty sure I've said this before, but I don't really use a lot of fences. Like, I know some people use fences everywhere, especially around the houses, but I generally don't. I don't really know why that is either, but I've never been drawn to it. I have been trying to use them more, but half the time I forget that fences exist. But so I did add a fence in this time, and just trying to go all the way around, and obviously going around the trees as well. And this front area, I wasn't really sure what I was going to do with it. And then I tried to pick up one thing and I picked up 4. Don't know how that happened. I just wanted to put some code down and everything got picked up. So who knows? Who knows what I was thinking at the time? Actually, I'm pretty sure I did this build after getting dental work done. So maybe that had something to do with it, because they gave me the good stuff for that. I'm gonna blame it on that. It definitely wasn't me. It was the dental work. And we of course need a little path going to the hayride. So I just did a little tiny one, and then I matched what I did on the left side on the right side so that it stays consistent. And I did put a little bit more wheat fields, just like it's kind of overgrowing in a sense. I also, another complaint for me, I dislike the gap between the fence and everything else that we can put on there, because look at that ridiculous gap. It irritates me so much because it could be nice and flush so it looks really cool, but no, there has to be a gap. Anyways, let's move on to Pudge's house. By the way, Pudge is so cute. I know a lot of people do not like him, especially his little bang, but he is so cute. He's such a baby. I have discovered on this island that I really do love him. So he got a really cute house in my opinion. So Pudge's house is actually the pumpkin patch of the island. Very cute, and I've done a lot of pumpkin patches over my time with this game, so I wanted to do something different, something that I haven't necessarily done on one of my many other fall islands. So I don't think that I've ever used these little curtains in the back there ever before on an island, so I definitely think it's different. And the biggest thing that's different for me is I didn't do any stall or covered counter or any reception counter or anything like that. I just did these little stools and then fenced it in, and that was it. And I think that it came out really cute. And I don't know who does the code for these little mats, welcome mats, for the custom codes, but they're so cute, and I've been obsessed with using them on this island, which I don't normally, which seems to be the theme of this island, but I really enjoyed using them. And now we are back to struggling with some pathing. Typical. The pathing on this island, I don't know why, but I just really struggled with it, and I think it's because I was trying to do things so differently than I normally do, and so it made the pathing a little bit more difficult to work with. But I am just doing a little flower in the middle of the pathing because I like to do that. It's cute, and it breaks up a lot of the same pathing over and over when you have to path a big area like this. So it kind of works as almost like a little roundabout in front of Pudge's house. So there's a flower there. I was gonna put a tree, but then I was like, probably shouldn't, since it's like 3 spaces in front of his front door. So he got a flower. I do think, since so many of us have been playing this game for so many years, that it's important to find different ways to do things that you normally do, so that you're not just repeating the same thing over and over, because that to me gets very boring. That could be my ADHD, but it gets boring when I keep doing the same thing and then I don't want to play. So I like to mix things up, and that's one reason why I'm doing so many new villagers to me, because I have my favorite core group, but I'm like, it honestly, even though you love them, it gets boring after a while. So I think it's good to change things up. And now we're going to move on to the little pumpkin patch area of, I almost said Beau, of Pudge's house. And I'm going to use the dark and the light dirt to make the little rows, as is the usual thing. And I did have to adjust my plan because his house ended up a lot closer to the beach than I had initially planned, because there was supposed to be this whole fall festival to the left of his house, and I was looking at it for like 10 minutes and I'm like, how do I fit all of that in? And the answer was, you just simply can't. So I'm thinking I might make it on the beach instead. But it was more important to me to get all of the houses done how I wanted them and not make them smaller, so I could put a carnival, or a festival rather, on the mainland. I'm like, it can do just as well on the beach. So that's what we did. I say we, it was me. And now we're putting in the pumpkins, which I did run out of. So there's only actual pumpkins on this side. The other side has different types of pumpkins, but not like the ones that you grow in the ground, like the what are they called? The spooky lanterns, the spooky towers, those things that are pumpkins but not actual like crops. And this is about the point where I realized I had no pumpkins left, and I didn't want to go to another treasure island. So I'm like, okay, let's make what we have in our storage work. And I'm like, okay, so every spooky item we have, that's going down now. So, you know, the spooky lantern, the spooky towers, a couple of the spooky lantern sets, the hay ones, I think that's what they're called. And then the last 2 pumpkin starts that I actually have. Hopefully I remember to go back and water some of these pumpkin starts so that I can vary the number of pumpkins they have. I don't know if I'll actually remember that, but hopefully I will. And then over here, we're just gonna put some little hay bales down and the tractor. So it kind of looks like he's pushing the hay bale, and he comes too far out. So I do have to take one of them away. And I put down that one singular sign and then immediately came back to do more stuff over here, which I'm just dropping a pumpkin because it kind of looks like, you know, a little, like you can go pick the pumpkin up. And so this was like kind of like the area that you go and you pick the already done and ready pumpkins, whereas the other ones are more of like a you pick situation where you take them off the vine. I just made that up, so that's exactly what it is. When I go into these builds, I really have no idea what I'm doing. I just kind of go for the vibes and I figure it out along the way. I never claimed to know what I was doing. I just kind of, I'm honestly here for the vibes. As long as I'm having a good time, I'm happy. And I feel like that is really what this game is for me. It's just a way to have a good time, you know, explore and expand my creativity while not stressing myself out about it. Because I write books for a living. So I use my creativity on a dang near daily basis, but, you know, it's more of a job than playing Animal Crossing is. It's a different type of release, if that makes sense. And I've always been a super creative person, so having multiple outlets for creativity is really important for me. And because I do have ADHD, I do have to vary that, because otherwise I get bored with what I'm doing. But, you know, reading, writing are my big ones. Animal Crossing is like a close third. And then I'd say like different types of crafts kind of are what I vary, because I do some cross stitching, some just like regular crafting. I want to learn how to embroider. I have a new kit that I got for Christmas from one of my relatives that is how to embroider, so I'm excited to try that. Let's see what else. I also really love diamond art. That's a lot of fun. And I did get these little book nooks for Christmas as well. They have a lot of tiny pieces and I need a lot of time to work on them, but they are fun. It's almost kind of like models, but book things, which I love. Anyways, I've been rambling about crafts for too long. What are your crafts? Like, what are your go-tos? Are you a crafter? I know some people do not like crafting, but if you do craft, what do you like to do? And we're just continuing to work on the path. Like I said, there was a lot of pathing in this build. Oh my god, I almost forgot the word build. Anyway, so we're moving on to the pathing for the side here. And then I decided that I needed to do more fencing on the right side, which was difficult because of the shape of the terraforming, which I did do the terraforming, so I should have thought about that, but I didn't. But, you know, I think it kind of gives it a little bit more character when it's shaped kind of differently like that. And then I did decide I didn't actually like that fencing that I was using for over here. I liked it in Beau's area. I didn't like it for Pudge's area. So I did change it out for the vertical board fencing, which I think looks a lot better. What do you think? What is your favorite fence in here? I really like the vertical board fence. But everyone likes something different. So what is your favorite fencing? Or do you not fence? Do you not ever do fencing? I'm curious. And we are actually almost done with this island, if you can believe that. I feel like it's gone by really fast, but also like it's taking so long. I don't know if that makes sense, but it feels like both. But after this build, we only have on the mainland one villager house, my house, and then Nook's Cranny, and that's all that's left. And then we go and we move on to the beaches and the interiors. I have in fact finished HHP IRL for this island, so I can start doing the interior decorating for the villager houses, which I'm both excited and not looking forward to, just because it takes so long and sometimes it kind of makes my eyes cross with how many hours I put into interiors when I don't love interiors, but I do want to get better at them. And I've been thinking that I might do a series on my channel that's just like HHP builds, not like speedrunning it obviously, but like when I actually try to put effort into it, because I don't do that very often. I don't think I've done that since the first time I did HHP way back in the day. Because, you know, practice makes perfect, and if I'm not actually practicing my interior decorating skills in this game, then they're never gonna be where I want them to be. So let me know if you guys would be interested in seeing that. Another idea I have for my channel is doing a few like long play type of videos. I really love long play because I can just put it on in the background, and I also just really enjoy the sounds of this game. It's very relaxing. But let me know if that's something you guys are interested in. I could just do a couple here and there, or I could do a whole series for it. I don't know. It's something that I'm definitely interested in doing though. And we are still working on the path. Shocking, I know. I'm telling you, it took so long to do all of this pathing. And like I was saying earlier, I don't normally have issues with my pathing, not to this extent, but I did this time. And I don't like it. I like it when the pathing is nice and easy, but you know, it is what it is. And I like how the island came out. I will confess to you though, I am a little bit bored with the island now. I'm ready to go on to the next island. I'm really excited about the next island. The summer island that I'm gonna do, I'm super excited for. And it's an idea I've had for a really long time to do, and I've just never done it for whatever reason, so I'm excited to do that one. But we gotta finish Pinecone first, and I love Pinecone, but I am just kind of ready to be done and put it aside for a while. So we just have to do the last few mainland builds and then the beaches and interiors, and we'll be done. It's wild that it's already practically done now. And for later in the year, I won't tell you when because it's going to be a little bit of a surprise, but I might be planning a challenge or two, like challenge islands. So that will be fun, and I'm really looking forward to those ones. But you know, we got to get through this island and then the next island, and then we can think about doing some challenges. And now we are just gonna do some little natural elements in the little front area, and then in this area by Pudge's house we want to put some little pumpkins, and we cannot forget our little bat friends. I love bats. I know you guys have probably figured that out just based off of, you know, my channel. There's bats all over, but they're so cute. Anyways, we're gonna use this spooky carriage, which I love the spooky carriage, but it's really hard to use because it's so large. And then we did use the Turkey Day, I think it's called, that arch to get into the pumpkin area. It's kind of an awkward area to make the entrance, but I really didn't have any other option for it. So that's where we're going. A lot of filler areas by Beau's house. So it's a weird, like the island kind of juts out kind of weird right by his house. And I did choose where his house went, so that's my bad. But so I did a little filler area with like the spooky items. And apparently I had shooting stars on this night. I don't even remember that. That's so cute. I love the shooting stars. They're so pretty. And I did get a little carried away with the pathing. And I cut a lot of it out because it did take a long time, but I did all of the pathing in front of Beau's house in the hayride. I also did all the pathing to my house, which you can see over there on the right. That's a separate video though, but I got on a roll and I just decided to keep going. And now we're going to put some trees in, and my house will be having its own video, obviously, including the interiors. So there's also the secret beach that's kind of near my house. So that'll all be one video, I think. Next video or 2 videos from now? I think next video, actually. I think it came out really cute. I know I keep saying that, but I am really proud of this island. Even though I'm kind of ready to be moving on to the next island, I'm still really proud of it. I think it came out really cute. And now we have jumped back into doing the kind of natural things. I did have to time travel as well, which is why some of the trees have started to grow in. But we're just adding in the little tiny decorations, bushes, the spooky towers, trees, all of the big stuff. And I did this little area in the kind of middle to break up the pathing, with the destination signpost. I don't like using that thing because it's cute, but the dimensions are so weird, so you can't center it on a custom code, and so it just ends up looking weird. So that's why it got surrounded with pumpkins and wheat field, just so that you couldn't tell that it was off. And I do not know why Nintendo did that to us, because it hurts my brain that it doesn't end up perfectly center. And of course we have to add in our festival balloons because I'm obsessed with them for this island. They're so cute. And I don't know when I'm gonna set this island, like during the day. I was originally gonna do it during the day, but because I've used so many of the festival balloons, I'm like, maybe I should do it at night or maybe like at dusk. I don't know. What do you think? When would you set this island? I think it could be set in so many different different times, and it would look really cute. And we are adding in the little street lamps, which are super cute. That's the word of the day, apparently. And I did put this pumpkin where I was supposed to put a street lamp, so I had to switch that out. And if you thought that I was done putting wheat field down because I did an entire field of it, you would be incorrect. There is no such thing as too much wheat field in my mind. It's one of my absolute favorite items to use in this game, and you can pry it from my cold dead hands. I will not stop using it. Here I'm just really trying to fill out this space in front of his house without it being too busy or inaccessible, because I do want him to actually be able to sit in the chairs that I put out for him. So just custom codes and some flowers, and then a little stack of books. Maybe he's reading something. Maybe he just likes books. They do smell very good. And the last place that I really need to work on is behind Beau's house, which is, again, another filler area where we're just putting trees, bushes, flowers, and then bigger items like the mush parasol, the giant vine, and some more festival balloons. Like I said, it's just a filler area to really just make it look more foresty and more lived in to an extent. So that was really the only goal for this little area. And now I'm moving on to the little rocks. I don't always decorate the rocks, but I feel like it needs some height back here. It looks weird to me. So I'm just adding in some of the festival balloons, some of the spooky items, just things that you would see around a hayride. Maybe it's a little display set up specifically for the hayride. I've seen those before. Those are cute. And we're just going to finish off with our last little bits of wheat field. Our last little decoration bits back here. And our last little festival balloons back here. I really like this item I'm discovering. I've used it so much. But it's good. It gives height and it lights up, which I like the lights, so I think it's cute. And we are done. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please like and subscribe. Follow along to see the rest of Pinecone. And let me know what your favorite part of today's build was. If you've missed any episodes, go ahead and check out the Pinecone playlist to get caught up. And I will see you in the next one. Bye!